Hello, and welcome back to the show. This is a Patron exclusive. I almost forgot. I was doing some cleaning, and then I remember, I'm going live right this moment. I better see if Charlie's here as well. How are you doing, patrons? We are back, back to work, back to normality, back to the office. Last week, we did our third immersion course, had a lot of fun, and now we're back to it. And it's lovely to be back in my transparent office chair. How are you? Please give us a hello and tell us who is here and how are you today? Charlie, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. Yeah, nice to be back. Not such a transparent chair for me, more of a red tone. If my eyes do not deceive me, is this red?
It looks kind of a light pink color to me.
Light pink. Okay. What, a salmon color?
Yeah, it looks kind of salmon. It doesn't look like a very new chair. It looks like maybe it's been sitting in your parents' office for about 20 years.
Well, this is my office, actually. Stand corrected. Because these are all my certificates, remember? And they are, but I won't tell you what they are because one of them is ridiculous that I've got them on the wall. And I'll also show you how disgusting this chair is. My parents have 5 cats. Look at this.
Oh, oh, that's nasty. Oh, that's nasty.
That's nasty.
Yeah. That's horrible. So when you're not there working any, your cats, they just kind of live there, do they? They
like this seat. Yeah, they like this seat. They also rule the roost. My mum comes in and she actually perches in front of them. She tries to not disturb the cat that's on the seat. So she's like on the edge like this.
Okay, nice. Well, being a real English teacher, my friend, you've already come out with some lovely English. And you said your cats rule the roost. They rule the roost. And I really like that. And that just means they take control. So Charlie's cats are very dominant. They're not passive at all. They come in. They take over. They take control. They rule the roost. They rule the roost. Would this come from like what is a roost? Is that like a group? Is that like a group of chickens?
Yeah. The rooster is the male, alpha male of the pack.
Yes. So then the roost. A place where birds regularly settle or rest at night.
Yeah.
So they rule the roost. They rule the rooster. Would rule the roost. They rule that area, don't they?
They would. Yeah. It makes sense now, doesn't it? But you can use it outside of the chicken world, and you can say that anyone who is dominant in a pack, you say they rule the roost. Synonym to alpha male, really.
Yes, but rule the roost, you could say it for a man or a woman, whereas an alpha male has got to be a man. Yeah, that's the dominant one in the group. So you guys at home, you guys who are watching, our patrons, our beloved patrons, who rules the roost in your home? Who rules the roost in your home? I rule the roost in my home because I live on my own. So I
was just going to say, there's not much competition for Harry. So even if your guns start to melt, I think you'll still be able to rule your roost.
Yeah, I think they are kind of wasting away. My muscles are just going. I'm not exercising at all at the moment because I injured my ribs, and now so I'm not really doing any exercise. So they are wasting away. But despite that, I rule the roost in my household.
Nicely put. Yeah. So wasting away. That's very good description for muscles that are not being used. To waste away.
Yeah.
You writing that one down, darling?
I am, my friend. Yeah, I'm putting them on a board. I'm putting it on my board
Okay.
to waste away. So my muscles are wasting away. They are deteriorating. They are weakening day by day, day by day. Christina is here. Hi there, Christina. How are you? And you got a lovely little emoji there with quite big lips, may I say? Big smiling lips.
Yeah, lovely to see you, Christina. Do tell us how you are and what you're up to on this fine Tuesday. And of course, if you rule the roost,
Yeah.
your roost.
No, it's not Christina that was doing the FCE exam. Was that Fernanda? I think that was Fernanda who was in a couple of weeks ago and we were talking about her exam.
Yeah, that rings a bell. Yeah, I think it was Fernanda.
Yeah. Christina, can you remind me where you're from and what you do for a living? So I'm great. How are you guys? We're pretty damn good. I'm quite tired today. I was saying to Charlie, because I'm just staring at the screen all day. I get quite tired, but feeling good. Feeling good. Nice to see my students again. Catch up with them because I hadn't seen them for 2 weeks, and feeling good. Feeling good. How are you, Charlie?
Yeah, it's strange getting back into it. I think that's the thing that is maybe tiring you a little bit because we've had a whole almost 10 days of no Skyping. We've been in person. We've been teaching people who are real in the actual physical room, and then suddenly Skype. Yeah, so I imagine that's why we're feeling a bit tired, but we'll get back into it, won't we?
We will. Yeah, we'll get back into it. We will get back into the swing of things. We have an expression for this when you are losing touch with your work, or you haven't been doing something for a long time and you need to get used to it again. You need to pick up momentum and get back to how things were. You can say, I am getting, or I will get into the swing of things. I will get back into the swing of things. Quite a hard one to remember, but super native expression.
Definitely. Yeah, it's very relevant for my brother-in-law because he's a golfer. So when he goes on holiday, he always comes back with that expression, looking forward to getting back into the swing of things because that is a swing. So he thinks he's hilarious.
And do you think that's where this expression comes from? Do you think it comes from golfers who haven't been playing golf for a while, and then when they do get back to swinging their golf club and their swing on the driving range, do you think it relates to that?
Let's say that it's 100% that. Yeah, golfers termed this phrase because when they don't play golf, they get all stiff, and then when they come back in, they're like, "Oh, getting back into the swing of this." Yeah. So Tiger Woods, he went away from the game for a while, accused of things, and then came back and got back into the swing of things last year. I hear. Word on the street, he did well last year, but I don't really keep up with the news.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was talking about golf today, Charlie, with my Korean student who I teach on Skype. Christina said, "Is it harder to teach via Skype?" And you're from the Ukraine. Oh, wonderful, lovely. Some of our most cherished students have come from the Ukraine. We had 2 Ukrainians on our last immersion course, and they were lovely. Do you remember Dmitry and Oksana? They were both Ukrainian, weren't they?
They definitely were. Yeah, they were very good, nice characters, and they were very. They were explaining the country is divided by the east and the west because one of them was from the east and one of them from the west, and they were sort of at each other a little bit in a nice, light-hearted manner, weren't they?
Yes. Yeah, there's a kind of healthy competition between them, bit of a rivalry, but a friendly one. So is it harder to teach via Skype? I don't know if it's harder. In a way, it's easier because you don't need to move so much. But personally, I prefer teaching people when I'm with them physically. But there's things that I love about Skype. It's easier to find students. It's amazing because you can connect with people from all over the world. That's just the most amazing thing, and you can have really amazing interactions, get to know people who otherwise you wouldn't have met. So I love the way that Skype connects people from all over the world.
Yeah, I agree. I do a lot more of Skyping, and largely because it feels so free. I'm going to Seattle on Friday, and I'll still be working. And I come back from Germany and London, and I can still teach. So it really suits my lifestyle. Very, very nice.
Yeah, exactly. So today we're going to be talking about a new topic for us, and it's talking about conspiracy theories and what other things what other word could we use to describe this? There's a word, and it's like it's hard to something that appears false, but it's actually true.
Pseudoscience?
No, it'll come to me. No, it wasn't that. It was another one. But anyway, what are we going to be talking about today, Charlie?
We are talking about alternative scientific beliefs. And as Harry said, another phrase for it would be a conspiracy theory. A conspiracy theory. And I said another one, pseudoscience, something that appears scientific, but it's actually fake. Maybe, were you meaning fake news? Were you meaning that?
Fake news. No, but that is a term you hear a lot nowadays. I think probably was it coined by Trump? He was always talking about fake news, isn't he?
Yeah, it was around before him, but he definitely brought it into the mainstream. This is actually different to fake news, I realized. Conspiracy theories, they're not deliberately trying to trick you, because the people behind it believe in it. They really do believe that this is the situation. For example, the most famous, I would say, is the man landing on the moon. People always argue whether that was a conspiracy theory, whether that was just filmed in a Hollywood studio or not. So we're going to go into that, and we're going to talk around one particular case study that's quite interesting, and then give you some really useful advanced vocabulary that you can put into practice with us in the comments section. So stay active. All right. Fantastic. So shall I share my screen?
Let's do it. Yeah, I'm ready. Share away, my friend.
Christina says, true, you can teach from any corner of the world. Yeah, absolutely. All right.
It's cool. Yeah, so Charlie's off to Seattle, and he's going to be teaching on Skype from there. That's really nice. And we're actually going to be going to Greece at the end of June, and we're going to be teaching there as well. So we'll do lessons in the morning and then make videos in the afternoon. And that's great that Skype allows us to do that. Thank you, Skype.
Yes, and Google Hangouts as well. Thank you.
yeah.
And YouTube.
Thanks, YouTube. Thank you.
Okay, so here we have exercise 1. Look at the alternative scientific beliefs and select the one that seems the most believable. Explain your reasons to us. So in this case, we'll read the examples out loud and we'll talk about them, and we'd like you to let us know what you think is the most believable and why. So we've got the first one, A. What's that one, Harry?
The earth is flat, not round.
Okay.
So I think, yeah, obviously, so this is how people thought people really believe this, and it was Christopher Columbus who set out to kind of investigate this theory, wasn't it? He traveled far and wide to see if he would reach the end of the world. And of course, he didn't. He just kept on going around, and there was no end to it. But I can see why people would believe this, because when you look out across the horizon, you can't see the curvature of the world. At least I can't with my poor eyesight. So I can see why people might think this way, or why people might have thought this way back then, before we traveled into other parts of the world.
Yeah, it must have been such a scary mission to be a pioneer in those days, to be an adventurer. Like, you think we say, oh yeah, I love traveling, I love going to new places. Imagine in the olden days when a new place was actually the unknown, like a place that had never been seen by any other person in your circle of friends, or even ever anyone had ever discovered. It'd be mental.
I know. I bet Columbus was thinking, oh man, what I really need is a long stick with a camera on it so I can capture this moment.
Yeah, and put it onto internet and let my friends know about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's so true. That's truly traveling, isn't it? Going around and just not knowing where you're going and just finding things, being an adventurer. And that's what Columbus was. And that must have just been amazing. It's amazing. I like the story of when he went on this trip. He was actually trying to find a new trading route to Asia. And he wasn't having much success. And they'd gone months and months without finding land. And then they came across a nation called El Salvador. And they called it El Salvador because it was his savior. So it was they managed to find land. They could get food and shelter finally. So it was the savior, and that's why they called it that. And I like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Something to do with the Indies as well, like the West Indies or the Caribbean. Those islands along there, they're named because he thought that was connecting to Asia, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's a very, very big, brave thing to do, to adventure into the unknown. It links with the second one, which was the moon landing, as we said before. So that's the second conspiracy to think about, whether you think that's the most believable or not. And so the wording is, people have never walked on the moon, and NASA faked the moon landings. So do you think that's believable or not? And I don't know, what do you think is more scary? To be an adventurer in those days, back in the day when the map wasn't complete, or to be a modern day astronaut?
Personally, maybe it's just my conditioned mind, because I feel like I've traveled a bit, and because lots of traveling has been done in the world, I'd feel safer traveling on this planet than trying to find another planet, which is surrounded by a very inhospitable environment in which I will not be able to breathe. I think generally I'll feel a lot more safe, or a lot safer on this planet.
Okay, nice argument. Yeah. I think I would go the other way, though. I think it must be so scary to go into new lands, because we kind of already have mapped out what's out there, haven't we? Only the astronauts have really gone to the moon, if we believe in that. And yeah, we're trying to go to Mars, but we kind of know it's there. Before, they thought maybe that, oh, am I going to go off the edge of the universe? Oh no, there's a new tribe here that's going to kill me in a second. It must have been very, very dangerous to go into new territory.
Yeah, I think though, if you were looking for the end of the world, just like when you're walking on, say, a mountain or a cliff edge, you're going to see the edge. So you don't have to continue walking or sailing on your boat. So I would definitely still feel safer knowing that, well, maybe I could find the edge and go, okay, that's the edge. Let's turn back. Let's go back.
I bet they would have sort of, when they're sailing and you can see the horizon, they would have maybe got scared thinking, oh, it's getting closer. It's getting closer. And then the other mate's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And he's like, it is. It is.
Yeah. And all the others are like, oh, Charlie or Christopher, stop being such a wuss. Stop being such a wimp. That's not the edge of the world. That's just your eyesight. You need to get some new glasses.
That's just New York on the horizon. Yeah. Or El Salvador.
Yeah. It's a skyscraper. It's a palm tree. Yeah. So what a new word there? Wuss.
Sure. A wuss. As Harry said, the synonym to don't be such a... actually, what did you say following that? Wuss.
A wimp.
Wimp. Maybe that's a new one as well.
Oh, definitely.
I just spell wuss.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't work it out. I'm guessing maybe...
I got it. A W-U-S-S.
Okay. So a wimp,
a weak person.
A wuss. These are people who are weak or easily scared. A wimp, a wuss. These are nice ways to say it. We would say it as a joke. Probably wouldn't be too offensive, but there is a more offensive way to say it. Charlie, should we teach it?
Go for it.
A pussy. A pussy. So that's a rude way to say it. And if you say it to a man, it's very emasculating and they don't want to be called a pussy. So
no, but it is very, very common. I think most of our friends would describe each other like that in one way or another.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm sure. I mean, me and you, I think most times we meet up, you end up calling me a pussy.
Yeah. Okay. So Christina thinks that there are some people who still think like that. And I think she's regarding the earth is flat. Yeah. I think that's what we're going to end up talking about even more. It's interesting to think that there are what they call flat earthers in this world still. So do you want to do C, Harry? Do you want to do the third option?
Yeah, let's do C. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I haven't got the page open.
I'll share my screen.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So, C, we've got humans are not responsible for changes in the climate. I think this is I don't know if this is a belief that a lot of people have, but people don't really care about climate change and don't see their actions as directly impacting the climate, do they?
Yeah, definitely. There's a huge a number of people out there that disregard it. I think it's getting a lot more press, and people are jumping on the bandwagon of realizing, oh no, this is something that we need to sort out and address. So yeah, it's definitely got people's attention by now, surely. The fourth one, we'll get through these because then we want to get onto the vocab. The fourth one is the white trails from aeroplane engines contain chemicals to control people's minds. I'll just hop on the share just in case you haven't seen that yet. It's rather ridiculous. It's what I would say is the most far-fetched one out there. I think it's also called chemtrails, short for chemicals, chemtrails. So the white tail or trail that comes from the aeroplane engines, if you look up in the sky, you sometimes see a line of it. People think that is the government releasing chemicals to control our minds.
Jesus wept. That is ridiculous. Some people are just really, really stupid, aren't they?
Well, maybe we're stupid because the government is spraying this chemical to make us think that they're spraying it.
Yeah, maybe that's why so many people are watching like reality TV shows, because they want us to watch this crap, and therefore they are feeding us this stuff through their aeroplane trails, and then we're just turning on the TV and we're tuning into absolute rubbish that they want us to watch. Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe
YouTube's a big part of it. Maybe we're part of their big plan as well, to distract you viewers from the chemtrails. Okay, so that's the fourth option. Number 5, Harry, do you have the website or shall I share it?
Sorry, I haven't.
Okay.
I'll get it now.
Cool.
I've got it. Okay. So vaccinations. So the next one is vaccinations do not work. They just make money for big companies. Okay. I've heard that one before. So for those who don't know, vaccination is an injection that you give to someone and it vaccinates them. It prevents them from contracting a certain disease or illness.
Yeah.
So when you're in school, normally we have hepatitis B vaccinations, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you can get various different vaccinations. I had lots of vaccinations done before I went to Thailand. Not the last time, but the time before that. Spent an absolute ton on vaccinations. But yeah, okay. So they think that these vaccinations don't really exist. It's just big companies that are selling them to make money.
Yeah, that's the idea. They think. I think on top of that, they're saying that all medicine in the Western world, or the Western term, is just for pharmaceutical companies to gain profit and to hook you onto those drugs so that you can't run away and be theirs.
I think maybe
that's the.
Sorry.
Charlie
said a nice word earlier. He said far-fetched, and we might have talked about this before, but it means difficult to believe. Difficult to believe. So I think it is far-fetched that people say that companies are creating these vaccinations to get money for themselves. But I think maybe there is some truth in the way that they say you must have these injections done. I think maybe there's some medicine that they will maybe push so that we do buy them, and that, yeah, maybe it's useful, maybe it's helpful, but maybe we don't need it as much as these companies and the media are telling us, perhaps. I think there's maybe some truth in that.
Okay. Yeah, that's a nice phrase as well. Some truth in that. Some truth in that. If you don't completely believe it, but you think there's a part of it, then you could say, oh, yeah, there's some truth in what you're saying. There's some truth in what you're saying. I'll write that as well.
Yeah, that's a nice one. There's some truth in that. And there was another one that you said, Charlie. You said jumping. A lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon. So there was, in the media, there's a lot of information. People find it difficult to believe that our actions as humans are influencing the climate in the world. But you said now that it's all over the news, a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon now.
Yeah. Yeah. So people are all joining on. That imagine a vehicle. I imagine a vehicle going along the road, and people are jumping on it, and they're all starting to agree with each other. And then you see it coming up your road, and you think, "Oh, that looks good. I'll jump on that vehicle, the bandwagon, and join the band." And in this case, it's the belief. So we want you to tell us what you think and why. So Christina, we know you're there. So do tell us what you think is the most far-fetched or the most believable. What do you think has some truth in it? And the last one that we didn't say is governments put fluoride, a chemical, in your drinking water to lower your intelligence. So they think that the drinking water has a chemical that affects your intelligence. What do you think of that, Harry?
True. It's true that's why I don't drink tap water. That's why I only drink bottled water and apple juice.
Okay. So Harry enjoys a good apple juice to avoid the chemicals. What about you guys? And just so you know, Harry does drink tap water. He's not a loony. But actually, in a lot of other countries, the tap water isn't safe. Harry and I have been brought up in a country that the tap water is regarded as very safe. So we think it's quite ridiculous for people to drink only bottled water. But you go to Spain or you go to, I think, Turkey as well. Some countries, really, they advise you not to drink the water.
Yes, yeah. I think it's because we've got generally quite a good piping and sewage system in England, whereas other countries aren't as lucky. But yeah, I've spoken with students who come from countries where drinking bottled water is the done thing. And then when they come to England, they say, oh, the water here is horrible. We always drink bottled water in our house. Have you ever had that, Charlie? Do you have any students that live in the UK and they always drink bottled water?
It hasn't come up in conversation. That's funny that they find it disgusting. Yeah, it makes sense if you're used to bottles. Yeah. Harry said a lovely phrase there. Something is the done thing. So that drinking a bottle of water is the done thing. Yeah, really native expression there, isn't it? So if it's a normal or regular thing to do, use that phrase.
Yeah. So Christina, what is, and there are two other viewers as well. Say hello, tell us who you are, and yeah, get involved. What is the done thing in your country when it comes to drinking water, Christina? Is it, or maybe something more exciting than that? Do you drink bottled water or are you drinking straight from the tap? But yeah, Christina said it looks like beer. I think a large portion of our subscribers think I'm an alcoholic.
What are you drinking right now?
I was drinking apple juice. I was drinking apple juice.
Can I see it?
Well, it's gone now. It's gone.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. No, it is beer. It is beer. Harry's an absolute alcoholic, a raging alcoholic. Every time we go on the course, I have to control him.
Yeah.
I say, not at 9 a.m., maybe at 10 a.m. you can have your first pint of vodka.
Have your first shot. Yeah. And you're not allowed to drink tap water in the Ukraine. Okay. You're not allowed? Is it punishable? Is it punishable to drink it, or is it that it's not advised, or it's not advisable?
Yeah, good spot. So Harry's pointing out that using the word allow makes it sound like it's something that you would get in trouble doing. But if it's something that is just about your health, it's probably suggesting, advising. Yeah.
Not advised.
Not advised. Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay. Good interacting, Christina. Like it. So we've got a quick video. Should we share the video, Harry, or should we go on to the text?
Yeah, let's do the video, man. Yeah, I think Christina will enjoy that, and the others who are watching after.
Yeah. All right. So it's just a 40-second video, I think, describing this case study of a man who is heavily into an alternative science project or conspiracy theory. So let me go ahead and play that for you. Okay, so we saw something there rather strange. We want you to try to tell us what you saw and also why you think it happened. So this man called Mike, he did this. We want you to tell us why you think he did it and, of course, what you saw. Harry, what do you think it was?
I think just looking at it, it looks like he was just interested in rockets and wanted to see how far he could fire his man-made rocket, is what it looks like to me. I don't think he was trying to find out if he could find the edge of the world. But he had the thought to attach a parachute. So he obviously didn't want to damage his rocket. I don't know what theory he was testing. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. So he was testing, as you said, the flat Earth conspiracy. It's not his. That I don't think, in his defense, I could say, in his defense, that wasn't his final attempt. That was him, I think, learning how to project his rocket even further into the sky. But yeah, he's trying to see whether he can find the end of the Earth.
Okay, right. I like that. So you weren't just criticizing him, you were kind of playing devil's advocate. So you were seeing things from his perspective, and you said, in his defense, he was just practicing. So that wasn't his final attempt. So in his defense, because Charlie's a nice, diplomatic, understanding person, he says, in his defense, that was just a practice run. Just a practice run. And it was an interesting attempt. I mean, it looked like it got some height. Not bad. Not bad.
If we were to try to make a rocket, we would fail far more miserably than he did.
Yeah. It seems strange that he's gone to the lengths of building that little rocket, stacking up all those ladders or whatever, attaching a parachute to test a theory which was proven wrong like 500 years ago. Seems a bit strange.
Well, we actually have a patron we know who wanted to show herself that the world wasn't flat, don't we? So they went to great lengths, as you said. You said gone to great lengths, did you say?
Yeah, to go to great lengths.
To go to great lengths. Yeah, I'll write that in that way, actually. So to go to great lengths, to do a lot, to put a lot of energy or effort, resources into something, and probably to figure it out. Yeah, our patron went to space, didn't they? They wanted to be sure that the world was not flat. They wanted to see it for their own eyes. And what we heard is that the world is not flat. It is in fact round, or globular. Is that a word? Globular.
Globular. I don't know. It sounds good.
It is a word. Oh yeah. Oh.
Is it globular?
It's a funny word, even either way. Globe shaped.
Globe shaped.
I know, globular. Yeah.
Globular. Yeah.
Globular.
Globular. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I like that. Yeah, so our patron Vitali, who's actually a woman, surprisingly enough, went out into outer space to see it for their own eyes. Or she went out to see it for her own eyes. This is quite a nice expression as well. Yeah, so when we don't believe something, we need to see it for our own eyes. Have you ever had that kind of thing, Charlie, that you just like, okay, I don't believe that until I've seen it?
Yeah, that's a good expression. Yeah, I would say that if Stacey's talking absolute rubbish, or I just don't really believe her, I would say, I'm not going to believe you until I see it for my own eyes. No way, no way. Show me the evidence. And then she usually does, and I have to apologize.
Really? Yogurt is only 50p in Sainsbury's. I can't believe
it. Exactly. Yeah.
I've heard it all. I've heard it all.
Yeah. Bolton beat Manchester 3-0. Don't believe it. Don't believe it.
Yeah. You can tell Charlie's a big football fan. He just called the football team Manchester. For those who don't know, there are 2 teams in Manchester. Anyway, so Christina, maybe he gave a hint that you can just put a camera on something and tell everybody you sent a rocket. Sent a rocket. Shall we give some corrections here?
Sure. Yeah. Maybe he gave a hint. So maybe he gave us a hint that you can just put a camera on something and tell everybody you sent a rocket.
You can. What did we say? Would we say fire a rocket? That he made a rocket?
Yeah, I'm not quite grasping the message. Are you, Harry?
Maybe he was just showing, or he was just hinting that I don't know, maybe showing off his ability to make a rocket. Maybe if you could rephrase it for us, Christina, so we can give you some feedback on that. But I guess it's a humorous comment. Yeah, it was his attempts to show off his skills, maybe.
Okay, I think maybe Christina's meaning that you can just put a camera on something and convince people that it's a rocket.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay, see your point, hopefully. So let's teach you some vocabulary that was actually associated to this text. So I'm going to share my screen now. Keep up the good work, Christina. We love your commenting.
Yes, great. Brilliant.
Okay, so we'll start off by showing you this screen, and then we'll just do a little bit of a listening exercise to vary it as well. So this is an article by Martin Bellum about the self-taught rocket scientist plans launch to test flat Earth theory. Another thing that we could do one day is talk about journalism, journalist language, because they don't follow grammatical rules in the same way, do they? They emit words to save copy and save characters on the page.
They do, yeah, they write in kind of note form in the headlines, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Mad Mike Hughes, 61, plans to reach an altitude of 1,800 feet over California in his homemade steam-powered rocket. Harry?
Yeah. Could you share to everyone?
Sure.
Rocket. Where is it?
I just read the bold one.
Okay. Hughes has spent 20.
No, the science one. I read the bold. I'm highlighting the text.
Sorry. Okay. Science is littered with tales of visionaries who paid for pioneering research to prove their theories. And this weekend, Mad Mike Hughes is hoping to join them. I love his nickname, Mad Mike.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I wonder if he likes that name, being called Mad Mike.
Yeah.
He plans to launch a homemade rocket in California as part of a bid to eventually prove that the Earth is flat.
Okay.
So some new vocab there. Shall we explain that now or after?
Let's save it for after because there's a nice visual for them. But do note it at the moment. Visionaries, pioneering, bid. There's also some more in there, but for the sake of the lesson, let's keep going. From now on, though, I think we'll just do listening practice. So Harry and I will continue reading the article, but just try to listen to what we're saying and hopefully understand it. So Hughes has spent $20,000 building the steam-powered rocket in his spare time and will be live streaming the launch over the internet. The self-described daredevil says he switched his focus to rockets after twice breaking his back doing stunt jumps in cars.
Bloody hell.
Wow.
I don't believe in science, declared the 61-year-old. I know about aerodynamics and fluid dynamics and how things move through the air. But that's not science. That's just a formula.
Okay. The rocket, which Hughes aims to reach an altitude of 1,800 feet over California, will be launched from the back of a converted motorhome purchased from Craigslist. Craigslist, do you know what that is, Harry?
I actually don't.
It's a bit like our Gumtree. It's a classified ads website that it's very big in America, but it's also very dodgy. It's a very shady website. People put up male wanted or female wanted in and amongst the furniture. So it's a bit of a strange one, but it's funny that he purchased this on Craigslist. It shows even more into why he's called Mad Mike. Okay, it is sponsored by a flat Earth research group, and Hughes plans a subsequent trip to try and observe the flatness of the Earth for himself. Okay.
Speaking about the risks of the flight, Hughes said, It's scary as hell, but none of us are getting out of this world alive. Hughes' website describes him as the only man to design, build, and launch himself in a rocket. He previously flew in his own rocket in 2014. Wow.
Yeah. Again, maybe going on Christina's vibe. I don't know what class, what is a rocket? You know, is it just something that's? Is that a rocket?
Yeah, like maybe you could just call your car a rocket. Just put a camera on it, drive off a cliff, and say, "Yeah, I was in my rocket." Yeah, or like a drone or something. Get a really big drone, attach something really light to it, like a baby or a dog, and call it a rocket, couldn't you?
There you go. So if you ever want a rocket engineer, Harry's your man. All right, so Hughes has stated that once he lands at the weekend, he intends to announce that he is running for the governorship of California. He wants to be the next, like, mayor or something. Like,
Arnie.
What's his name? Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the next one.
Wow. Very able man. Flat Earth theory has seen a resurgence in recent years, fueled by online message boards and some high-profile endorsements from celebrities. I wonder if Donald Trump is among one of those endorsements. The Flat Earth Society, founded in 1956 and relaunched online in the year 2000 or in the 2000s, currently boasts of having over 500 members, although the group has splintered into two separate factions with competing websites.
I'm going to Google some celebrities who are flat earthers. I think that would be quite interesting. In the NBA, Boston Celtics, Kyrie. Do you know this? Kyrie Irving?
I don't know.
Well, apparently this is a celebrity that might know. Kyrie Irving made headlines for appearing to endorse the idea that the earth is flat, and former basketball star Shaquille O'Neal surprised everyone in March by declaring the same. He quotes this: "I drive from Florida to California all the time, and it's flat to me." He said in a March podcast, before later retracting the claim, saying he'd been joking. Irving has also recently distanced himself from the belief. Okay.
That's hilarious. That would be like me saying, I drove to London. I went to London on the train, and yeah, it's definitely flat. Absolutely. Yeah. But Hughes is not alone in his quest to reach the sky to test established science. Rapper Bob, B.O.B., has made social media posts supporting the theory in the past and is currently attempting to raise $1 million to place multiple weather balloons and satellites into space for experimental exploration. He has so far only managed to gather nearly $7,000 for the project. Okay, so he's got a little way to go, but I'm sure he'll get there eventually.
Yeah. So I found Freddie Flintoff. Yeah, I've heard of that. Freddie Flintoff is a really famous cricketer in the UK, and he was a national hero when he was very, very good in his peak. And apparently he believes in the flat earth conspiracy.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I'd like to see him questioned on that.
Yeah.
Deary me. So Luli has said conspiracy. Does that mean illegal or something against the government? We do often talk about government conspiracies, and it refers to alternative beliefs, that something evil that has been planned, maybe in like with 9/11, the terrorist attacks. There were conspiracy theories that actually the American government were responsible for it. It was a secret plan of President Bush to crash the planes into the Twin Towers. So that's a kind of conspiracy theory in that way. But these are the ones we're talking about are kind of alternative beliefs.
Yeah, but you're right in saying it was a secret plan in that example. That's kind of what conspiracy is. It says if it's a secret plan by a group to do something illegal or harmful, then it's considered as a conspiracy. So yeah. Okay, so we read out a text there. We hope that you understood the majority of it. Some of those words were quite advanced, so we're going to take a moment to break them down and give you some definitions. So I'm going to share my screen now, and we'll go over that.
Cool.
Okay, so the first one, a visionary in the noun sense, a visionary. What would you say that would be, Harry? At the bottom here, we've got these example definitions that you can pop in and take out. So we're going to put them in the right order, hopefully.
Okay, so when I think of visionary, I think of someone who has thought about the future, that's kind of ahead of what's happening right now. They're thinking far into the future, how things will be, and they're developing new ideas and stuff like that. So a person with ideas that are ahead of time.
Very good, very good. So for you guys watching, type in the answer that you think. If you want to be extra quick, you could maybe number them. So a stupid idea is number 1, and then this one is going to follow. Or you could write out the whole sentence and matching up with the definitions above. But yeah, good job, Harry. Visionary, a person with ideas that are ahead of their time. Would you say you're a visionary?
Not really. I don't think I am. No, I think I think I can be creative, but wouldn't really call myself a visionary. Maybe I'd like to think that some of the things we are doing are quite pioneering in our little world of English teaching. Quite different. I think our immersion courses are quite pioneering. They're very different.
Yeah. Okay. So Harry, we could use the adjective on him is a pioneer, could say, in the English teaching industry. So he's got a pioneering idea that he delivers on YouTube. So the example there, where is it? Completely new and innovative.
Good, Luli. Well done. Perfect.
Yeah, I can't see the chat board, so can you keep
That's
on top
all right.
of
Yeah,
that?
I've got that. Yeah, so Luli got that. Pioneering, new, and innovative.
Brilliant. Yeah, okay. Well done, Luli. Number 3, bid. And on the left side here, I'll scroll to the example. So in California, as part of a bid to eventually prove that the earth is flat.
So another synonym of this is like when you try something. So what do you think, guys? Bid payment. So that's interesting because bid can be related to an auction when something is being sold on an open market. People will place their bids, which is like an offer. But this is using bid in another way. And a bid in this context is actually an attempt.
Oops.
So he plans to launch a homemade rocket in California as part of an attempt or a bid to eventually prove that the Earth is flat. But you're right, Lulu. I mean, it's not a bid, isn't exactly a payment. It's more an offer in another context.
Yeah.
In an auction context.
Yeah. Good exampling. So then we go on to the next one, a daredevil. Again, the noun. In this example, the self-described daredevil says he switched his focus to rockets. So he's describing himself. That's what they mean by self-described. He calls himself a daredevil. So if Harry said, I'm a daredevil, he would be self-describing. But if I said, Harry, you are a daredevil, then I am simply describing it to him. And a daredevil is what, guys? What do you think?
So Luli has got this one. She said, daredevil, a person who takes risks.
Yeah, very good. They've put extreme risks on there. And I would say that that's probably true, isn't it? Extreme risks. Exactly. I always think of those people who ride motorcycles over trucks in a big show or through a ring of fire.
Yes. Who is that very, very famous one? I can't remember his name. Do you remember his name? He was like a really famous motorcycle daredevil.
Yeah, I think he's even got that in his name, hasn't he? Daredevil.
Maybe. I don't remember.
It will come to us. Okay, the next one. Do you want to do that while I search his name?
Evel Knievel.
Evel Knievel. Evel Knievel. Yeah. He was a famous daredevil. Okay. Aerodynamics. Aerodynamics. I'm going to have to speed this up, actually, because I've just realized the time. So aerodynamics, it's the science of how air moves around objects.
Good, good. We've got endorsement from Luli, recommendation that something is good. Well done. Really good. And another one from Luli, splinter, to separate two or more parts.
Very good. Top of the class.
And we can get if there's a piece of like broken wood, maybe something. It's very typical to get a splinter in your finger, and you get a little tiny piece of wood in your hand, and it starts bleeding. That is a splinter because it's been separated from the wood.
Yeah. Okay, and then number 8, to retract, is used here when they retracted their statements about driving from Florida to California all the time and it's flat. He said, I don't mean that, I retract it. So he's taking it back. To take something back, change your mind about something. He realized he was sounding stupid.
Exactly. And the last one, quest. So we have, but Hughes is not alone in his quest to reach the sky to test established science. And that, of course, is a journey towards a different goal. Difficult. Charlie?
Okay. So there we go. Let's just confirm that it's all correct. Yeah, I think we're back, Harry. Yeah. All right. Very good, guys. We're all correct.
Well done.
Let's come back. So, yeah, thank you very much. That was a privilege. We really appreciate you being here and for your support in the Patron membership as well. We hope to continue delivering for you and helping you engage in a fun, random way with your English studies.
Exactly. Thank you so much, guys, for being our patrons. It's lovely being able to interact directly with you in these lessons. And anything we can do for you, if there's any suggestions for future lessons, then please do write to us, either to our email or directly on Patreon. And we will try our best to make lessons that are suitable and useful for you. So thanks so much. It's been lovely teaching you today. Thanks especially to Christina and Luli for your participation today. Christina, you've been amazing. And we'll see you again very shortly for another Patron exclusive live lesson.
Yeah, and we will be announcing the next month's dates in the next couple of days. So stay tuned and we look forward to bringing you some cool content. Thanks very much. Bye for now. Thank you, Harry.
Cheers, Charlie. See you later, guys.